Today we're going to look at the cheapest, easiest, and my preferred way to set up your smart home. And we're going to walk through all the products, how I did it, and why I think everyone should set up their smart home in a similar fashion. First things first, how did I set this up? This is something that I really struggled with in the beginning, but ended up making a decision that I hope can help some of you whenever you're making your decision on your smart home. What I ended up doing was for Home Assistant and actually even running my Homebridge instance as well, because I'm running both, I went with this Series Mini PC. And I'll actually show you from Beelink. This is the exact one that I used. And here on the right-hand side, you can actually see the other products we're going to be talking about. But I landed on this one for a couple of key reasons. The main factor I wanted with this was to be able to not just run Home Assistant. I know Home Assistant offers their own individual standalone accessory that you can set up. But for example, on Home Assistant, I can't get my garage to work with it anymore. There's an integration with Genie that no longer works. But for some reason, it's still working on Homebridge. So this is a perfect example of why I would want to have the option to use both. Another great example is with Homebridge, there is a plugin called the Apple TV Enhanced plugin, which I love, and I want to be able to use that. And because I'm able to run both on this machine, I can use both interchangeably, and depending on what I'm trying to do, I have the option to run both. So it's really easy to set it up, to be honest. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there. If you want me to make a YouTube video on how I set mine up, I'm more than happy to. But everything you need comes right in this box. And it's just a great little tiny machine that you can set up, put right next to your router and direct connect it in, run whatever you need to run on it, and then you'll be off and cooking and able to add in everything you want at that point. Now that we have the actual PC that's running it shown here, I want to show my Home Assistant instance. So here, I'll even look at my overview. You can see all the different devices I have on here. The big thing that I really wanted to have when I set this up was I wanted to be able to port my Ring cameras into Home Assistant. I already made a video on how to do that, and it's actually under an add-on called Scripted, and it's very simple, very easy, and you can port all your cameras in and get everything that you would want from the Ring cameras into your Home Assistant instance. For my Homebridge setup, very simple as well. And here you can actually see with my plugins, I have the two running, and then you can actually either port these into Home Assistant and then onto your device, or connect them directly to your device and not have them in Home Assistant if you don't want. But again, very simple, very easy to set these up and get them connected and running. And that's just one of the big advantages to having this Beelink Mini PC, because I can run both these without any issues whatsoever. Moving on to a couple other devices that I have set up that I would highly recommend. First off being these TP-Link Matter switches. Matter is huge, and more devices continue to come out that have Matter capability, and Home Assistant does a great job connecting with your Matter devices. It's very simple in Home Assistant to add these devices under Devices and Services. You'll see I have 8 devices running Matter, and I absolutely love this feature. So as you're beginning your smart home journey, or maybe you're currently in your smart home journey, I could not encourage you enough to, when you are looking at buying a smart home product, buy something that has the Matter icon on it. For example, on these switches, you'll notice on the top of the box, it says Matter here. And even on the Amazon listing, you'll see the Matter logo, and you'll even see it here as well. So crucial, so important. And honestly, everything I have that's Matter enabled works so much better than anything else I have to port into Home Assistant in a different way. Another device I highly recommend is these Matter smart bulbs. These are great smart bulbs. They're only $5.82 per bulb when you buy them in this 4-pack. They could be a little bit brighter, but regardless, they do a fantastic job, and you're able to use all the features in Home Assistant or on your phone, and they work incredibly well. So this is something else I wanted to recommend as you're starting your journey and going through all the products and upgrades you might want to do. highly recommend these light bulbs. And lastly, one last thing that I purchased that I actually found out I liked a lot more than I thought I would is this outdoor smart Wi-Fi plug. Again, this is Matter connected, and I love the way that this thing works. It's so simple, so easy. You get 2 full ports to plug in your light strips or anything into that's outside, or whatever you want to plug into it. And I actually use this to run an automation for my Christmas lights I had set up, and I absolutely loved this, and it was something that was fantastic. And another great recommendation I want to throw out there for, again, someone who's just trying to smartify their home. Another great thing that you can do with either this Matter smart plug or really any Matter smart plug is you can make any dumb device smart by connecting it to that plug. Meaning, for a long time, I had a lamp in my living room before I put the light bulb in it that I just wanted to be able to control the power on off state with my phone. And I had laying around a old Wemo Wi-Fi switch that I was able to port into Home Assistant, and it worked great. But with the bulbs, obviously, you get the color customizations and can do more. So if there's anything in your house that you want to try to smartify, this is another great route to go to help you out. Again, for Home Assistant and for Homebridge setup, I'm happy to make a video if that's something that anyone wants to see. And I did it all. I set everything up relatively in the last probably few months. So it should still be relatively the same if you were to set it up, but it's pretty easy. Homebridge had a little bit more kinks in it because I wanted to run it specially to work with the Apple TV Enhanced plugin, and that requires some different functionality and capabilities. But I do love that plugin, so it was worth it. But it took a little bit of configuring and playing around with to get it to finally work the way I wanted it to. But I hope this video helped some of you kind of get an understanding of why I chose that Beelink Mini PC to run my Home Assistant and Homebridge and just smart home network. It is incredibly powerful. It's really cheap, honestly, for what you're getting. I got it on sale. I think it was only like $100 for Black Friday, or maybe a little bit more than that. So if you can find it on sale, it's super worth it, but it can really help elevate what you're able to run instead of using like the Home Assistant individual, single capability device. Or like for a while, I was just running it on my gaming PC, which I had to have my PC turned on constantly to do. So I hope that helps, and I'd highly recommend it. And if you have any questions, leave it down in the comments. I'll be watching, and I'll try to answer all of them as they come through. But I really appreciate you joining us or joining me today for this video, and I hope to see you soon.